A top Biden COVID advisor. This is Dr. Michael Osterholm. He is a coronavirus advisor to President-elect Joe Biden. He's on that task force that Joe Biden has been putting together with people like Zeke Emanuel. Remember, Zeke Emanuel yesterday said that America should not get all of the vaccine first, even though we paid for the creation of it, that we should just get enough to where we bring our numbers down. Well, then now this makes sense. So you do that, and then you give the rest of it out to the world, so America last instead of America first. And then what you do, you get enough of the vaccine out so where the numbers are low, and then how about initiate a nationwide shutdown? Shutdown. That means going back to what we did for just a couple of weeks for up to 6 weeks. That is what is being proposed by, and it's been proposed by Joe Biden throughout. He said he's open to it throughout the campaign. Now he's got top advisors around, Dad, saying he is open to shutting down, and they are suggesting shutting down the entire U.S. economy, the schools, the workplaces, the restaurants, travel, shutting us down from the world for 6 weeks. The economic consequences we saw of just 2 weeks of coming out of that. And then when you do it at a federal level at 6 weeks, many states, especially blue states, keep it going.
Take a look what happened in Europe. I mean, in the situation in Europe, what happened was they did, like in Italy, the significant lockdown, even more extreme than what was done in the United States. And I'm not giving medical advice here, but the numbers spiked right as soon as they opened it back up. It spiked back up. I mean, it's just this the nature, apparently, of the way this pandemic is going. Now, there's good news that on the front looks like on the vaccine, but this to start talking about 6-week shutdowns of the entire U.S. economy now going into the Christmas season when these retailers are barely surviving as it is. I mean, I pay attention to trends in retail. My family grew up in that business. And I'm going to tell you something. The idea that we're going to mandate a shutdown before they've even gotten in office, I mean, I understand they're doing planning, to me is not only alarming, but what's the comprehensive plan? But shutting down the U.S. economy, I've talked to business owners. I was on the phone with business owners in Georgia yesterday. These are small businesses that are just now coming back into a good situation.
The plan to just have a nationwide shutdown, as this advisor is suggesting to Biden, would be catastrophic and destructive to the economy as a whole. These people are just now getting back on their feet. As Jay said, we talked to some people in the Atlanta community, and we've seen it in the community here in Washington that we've talked to. These people are struggling to survive. Restaurants are absolutely empty. Retailers are dying, literally, and then you're going to just shut down the nation.
Their plan to help people, just borrow more money. We'll borrow more money to pay for a package that would cover lost income for individuals and governments during a shutdown. That would get us to 6 weeks. So more debt for the United States, higher taxes to cover something like that. This is the top advisor to Joe Biden on his coronavirus task force. He's a professor in Minnesota, Dr. Michael Osterholm. This is what he says. He's a medical professor, scientist, telling us what we're going to do economically to save the country during a 6-week total shutdown.
We could pay for a package right now to cover all of the wages, lost wages for individual workers, for losses to small companies, to medium-sized companies, for cities, states, county governments. We could do all of that. If we did that, then we could lock down for 4 to 6 weeks. And if we did that, we could drive the numbers down.
Okay, so he wants to borrow money, I guess, from China to pay us all to stay at home. But, what about the big businesses that drive the country and most people's payrolls? A lot of, the small businesses, of course, very important. That's great. But how much debt are we going to put on, and how much tougher is it to recover? I mean, do any of you really support a nationwide shutdown? I understand local governments taking action, schools taking action locally. And, you deal with your state. If you're in a deep blue state, you're going to have a lot more shutdowns. You choose to live there. No one makes you live there. Your job might require you to be there. Hopefully you're still getting paid even if you're working from home and things are working out for you. If you live in red states, they're more open right now. But sometimes they do go into a city and put special restrictions in place because they see a rise in COVID. That's the way things should be working, not a nationwide 6-week-long shutdown.